for the.
Thank you very much. I would like to share with all of you some of the initiatives that the government has taken in terms of improving the ease of business. That seems to be the watchword, that how the business environment could be improved so as to enable the businesses to make investments in the country. And it is in this context that the project monitoring group in the Cabinet Secretariat is working. The idea here is to, which is already in operation, is to have a portal wherein an industry that has a problem can go to the portal and register itself and mention its problems ministry-wise, so that it automatically flows to the designated joint secretary of the ministry, and he's supposed to put his comments on the portal itself. So it's a totally transparent mechanism of following up on the problems of the industry. What has also been done parallelly to set up subgroups of such ministries where clearances are getting delayed, so that specific interactive sessions can be held with those ministries in the presence of industry. And some of these subgroups meet every week on a fixed time and date. The project monitoring group also travels to the states regularly. Every Monday and Friday we go to a state to sit with the chief secretary and senior officers of the government to see how the problems that the industry is facing in the field can be sorted out. This seems to be working. And it is in this context that 15 states have also decided to set up their own portals for monitoring projects between 100 and 1,000 crore. What we do in the project monitoring group in central government is projects above 1,000 crore. But the state governments have found this instrument that has been created by the central government very useful and efficient. So they have set up their own project monitoring groups, state level, which will monitor projects between 100 and 1,000 crores. There's another thing that is happening now in the government is that there is an attempt to digitize all the processes of registration and clearances. And the objective is that by 31st March 2015, industry does not have to go to any office to file an application for clearance. And this is not merely an announcement, because some activity has already happened on the ground. With regard to forest clearance and environment clearance, which are perhaps the most complex of clearances, you can file the application today on the portal. And not only that, industry can actually track these applications' movement and track it against fixed timelines for each stage of clearance. Now this is supposed to happen with regard to all the clearances, and it is expected that by 31st March, as I said, almost all the clearances and registrations would be done through a single portal, thereby obviating the need for industry to go to a particular office and get it done. So this is primarily what the government is attempting to do. Our view is that in the context of smart cities also, the primary subject of discussion today, clearances can be fast-tracked, clearances can be actually followed up in a very transparent manner, so that these smart cities, as and when they come up, they are not held up on account of delayed clearances. Honorable Minister today, in his address, outlined the broad contours of smart cities that are going to come up. But more importantly, there is an effort to understand from the industry as to what are their ideas with regard to actually bringing into existence these smart cities. And that is an attempt that is made with all the industry associations to seek their views and ideas. Some outstanding, very useful ideas did come up during the discussions that were held post the speeches that were made, and they shall be considered while formulating the final policy of smart cities. Thank you very much.
So have you launched these portals already, or are you going to launch it?
The portal related to project monitoring group is already in operation. Today we have around 450 projects on the portal that entail an investment of about 22 lakh crores, equivalent to about $3 billion. They're already there. The subgroups are also already functional. About 176 projects entailing an investment of about $1 billion have already been facilitated for clearance. I'd like to clarify that the project monitoring group itself does not give clearances. The clearances are still given by the concerned ministries. But what we do is periodically have meetings with them, in some cases every week, to see that those clearances come thick and fast. It has already started working, and probably that is the reason why state governments have felt it essential that they should set up a similar portal at their end. Whereas we look into projects above 1,000 crore, the states are looking into projects between 100 and 1,000 crore. And I'd like to inform you that the state portals are back-end linked to our portal. So the central issues automatically come to us.
What has been the experience? Which are the ministries which have a major problem with this?
You know, traditionally, most of the issues related to environment and forest ministry. 40 to 42% of the issues that come to us relate to environment and forest, and that is the reason why the current government thought in terms of digitizing the whole process itself. The primary impact would come through that they took this initiative on the 15th of July. The forest clearance was launched on the portal for entire process, and environment process was launched on the 1st of September.
So what is the timeline, the shortest timeline the industry can expect clearances from you? Have you fixed the outer line?
No, let me explain this to you. Each clearance has its own timeline. For example, a forest clearance is a cumbersome. It starts with the state level, it goes up the ladder, comes to central government, stage 1 forest clearance is given, it goes back to the state, compliances happen, it comes back and goes for stage 2 forest clearance. So we are not overly bothered about the time frame, but we are bothered that whatever that time frame is, the clearance do happen at that time. And our understanding is, and our experience tells us, that once you make it transparent, and as I was mentioning during the conference, no matter how inefficient I am, if it's there in the public domain, I'd like to be efficient. That itself creates enormous pressure amongst the ministries and the bureaucrats there to do their job on time, and it seems to be working on the ground.
This is 176 projects of your facilitated. What has been the timeline for some of them?
You know, I'll give you some broad examples just to illustrate. There are 3 critical railways projects in this country, and as you might be aware that India is not short of coal. The problem is that evacuation coal, because these coal mines are in inaccessible areas. Now these 3 railway projects, one each in Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand, were languishing for 6 years. And these projects would give India an additional coal supply of 100 million tons. India has a total production of about 500 million tons. So adding this sort of a additional capacity, 100 to 200 million tons is the capacity of these 3 lines. It will start with about 35 million tons, and in 5 years' time it will go up to 200 million tons. Now if you ask me that what is the timeline is that by 31st of December 2016, all these projects will become operational. Why? Because they were held up on account of environment forest clearance. In 2 projects, final environment and forest clearance has been given. In the 3rd project, it is moving from the state government, and hopefully in next couple of months, that environment clearance will also come. In one of the 3 projects, actual action has started on the ground, construction activity has begun. So, as you would see that there is action visible on the ground, even for projects that were pending for more than 6 years.
Sir,
Mr. Naidu, sir, by when do you expect, you have held a lot of meetings with stakeholders on smart cities and even housing for all. By when do you expect to release the final proposal on smart cities and housing for all?
These things cannot happen overnight. One. Secondly, there are many stakeholders involved in this. You have to take the states on board. You have to take the urban local bodies also in confidence. Then you need support from different sectors, and you need the finances also. For that, the model which we have finalized is the smart cities are going to be on PPP model, public-private partnership. I have already held a consultation with the state ministers. I have taken them into confidence. Now we are at an advanced stage of finalization about the contours of the smart cities. I held a consultation with a lot of foreign delegations also who are interested. And within the country, they also came and made presentations. We are trying to take everybody on board because it's not an easy thing. Saying is easy. The word smart is smart. To make smart city is not that much easy. To take years. Tomorrow you cannot construct a city overnight. And city without life is not practical. So keeping all these things in mind, I talked about smart cities. You have to prepare the habitat for that. You need smart leadership. You need smart people. You need 24/7 water supply. You need better transport. You need disposal of the waste. You need traffic. You need security management. you need IT-enabled services, then you need education, you need entertainment, you need employment opportunities. All these things will definitely take time. That's why, but my idea is to finalize the consultation process. Next month I am going to, this month I am going to Oklahoma, one of the so-called smart cities. There is an invitation, and some 80 smart cities across the country, they're all assembling together. Then I go to Seoul also. I am planning to complete this process of consultation and finalization of this contours by, say, end of November, and then take them to Cabinet, first EFC, Expenditure Finance Commission, and then go to Cabinet, and then there will be started from the beginning of the year. That's done now.
By any chance, can we see the first city rolling out before the next budget?
Before the next budget. You see, rolling out, an idea will roll out and you can announce the city, but can you construct a city overnight? It will take minimum 10 years, even if you do it on a faster scale also. But there are certain another thing is that certain countries are showing interest in this by way of participation. For example, Japan has said that they will cooperate with regard to Varanasi, making it a smart city, heritage city, etc. And Singapore, former Prime Minister and Present Minister, Senior Minister met me and told me that they are willing to participate in the construction of the new capital of Andhra Pradesh, which I also want to make it a smart city, because constructing a new city is comparatively easy. But the concept and the identification shall be complete before the next budget session.
Two questions. I believe the union budget has provided for 7,000 odd crores for smart cities this year. So with concept and identification not complete, how do you propose to spend those?
No, try to understand this 7,700 crores is for Urban Development Ministry.
No, it's not responsible.
No. There was a misunderstanding. There was a scope also because the wording was such. This money of 7,700 crores is for replacing Januarium and also smart cities.
Okay.
So naturally, we will be able to spend the money, I think, before the next budget, hopefully.
So two questions with regard to investment. Who will make all these investments? I mean, a lot of upgrades are required in this, A. And B, the question will be on affordability.
Whoever is willing to get reformed, whoever is willing to take these reforms, this thing,
so
those cities only will be identified.
You may appreciate that within urban local bodies or state governments, there are states like Maharashtra, some other states too, where we always devise schemes depending on the services provided. People pay, some people don't pay. You mentioned, sir, that company is just recovering 1 rupee per unit. So here will be, you'll upgrade the water supply systems, you will upgrade, but people will demand free. So how is it going to be affordable?
Free is not possible.
No, but how?
The question is, if you don't want, don't get into the smart city.
No, but everybody wants you, but who?
No, the municipal corporation, I can tell you, the municipal corporation or the municipal council has to meet, discuss the proposal in detail, and then come forward to become part of the scheme. Then only that city will be considered. And then the state has to take guarantee also. The state also has to give guarantee that they will stand by the urban local body. That's why we are trying to take the states, and then I am also planning to have a national conference of these urban body chiefs also shortly. Not only in smart cities, even for urban reforms, you need the support of these bodies. My entire idea is, earlier you might have seen the budget, you rightly mentioned about not only smart cities, then budget also mentioned about 500 cities. 500 cities also, the urban renewal has to take place. In all this, unless the bodies are willing, you can't. And there is no question of forcing anybody. I have declared you as a smart city, so you pay taxes. I don't want to take that approach. In other cities, yes. In other cities, this has to be, what you said has to be kept in mind. But as far as the smart city is concerned, it will be on the basis of acceptance of the city elected body.
So taking cue from what you say, specifically the role model is mainly Gujarat, the state of
Please want upgradation within the city, if they are willing, okay, that model also. Second is satellite towns near the cities, there is another model. The third one is if there are two cities and where there is scope to join them with a smart city, that are twin cities. And then we have the new municipal towns coming up. Some of the towns, let us not think smart city means not Mumbai, city means not Calcutta, or it's not that much easy to reform Mumbai. You are all aware of it. there are a lot of problems. So small towns which are coming up now, where the population is increasing, urbanization is going in rapid pace, if they come forward, they will also. That's why I want different categories. If there was a suggestion, why don't you go by population? If I go by population, only Mumbai, Calcutta, Chennai, Delhi, these cities will get. So I have said categories. One, state capitals.
That would be tier 2, tier 3 cities like
There are state capitals. State capital Kohima. Neither 2 or not 3. But each state must also have satisfaction. They are also made part into the new initiative of this government.
You mean that this would be a mix of greenfield project and brownfield project?
It will be mostly brownfield, except where the new cities like the new capital is coming up and all. Because constructing a greenfield smart city, going by Indian living standards, is not that much easy.
So who will fund the project, sir?
Central government to some extent, the state government to some extent, urban local bodies to some extent, and then PPP.
So are we seeing likely to see EPC contracting, or it will be like a toll-based, like service-based?
Those details are under discussion. I don't want to say anything about it.
So the minister has to leave at 1:10 and before that lunch.
Give
So
good
on
question.
urban development mission, sir, your government is doing for the affordable housing because builders have no control over the pricing.
So I am coming out with a new bill, Real Estate Development Regulation Act. I am proposing to introduce it in the next session. For that also I am holding consultation with all the stakeholders. A day-long meeting with all the stakeholders, wherein we have taken the views of the consumers, taken the views of real estate developers, taken the views of legal department, environment department, and other people concerned. So we are now moving forward to take that into consideration and then bring the bill in the next session. That's the idea. Real estate development and regulation, not regulation alone. Regulation, in the minds of some people, it's like a strangulation. We don't want to have any strangulation. That's why I said development and regulation. Because without regulation, what is happening? You have all very attractive advertisement, full page advertisement, front page advertisement nowadays about providing this, that, and all. When it comes to delivery, some of them are missing. That's why the consumers in the country are feeling that they are being taken for a ride. And the law of torts in India is not that much strong, unlike Western countries. If something is denied and somebody is deceived, the law of torts are effective there. Here, our judicial system, process and all. I'm not trying to find fault with judiciary alone. We don't have enough courts, the population and all. So this is one area where we want to have. If anybody want to go for this thing, you must register, and then what you want to offer, you must give in writing, 1, 2, 3, and then make it public.
So 24/7 smart electricity and 100 smart cities. How are you going to correlate this?
The smart city means without electricity you cannot have smart city. So electricity has to be 21.
This
So-
is
so,
for
one question
the
to
Our
Mr.
generation has to be,
So one question to Mr.
our generation has to be enhanced, increased.
सर अर्बन डेवलपमेंट मिशन पे क्या अपडेट है आप
Urban Development Mission also, we are all, that also at an advanced stage. Before the next parliament session, it will be ready.
क्या कुछ
Sir, when we talk about urban development, just one more question I have for
Please.
you and Mr. Swarup.
Hello?
Larsen recently sought to exit the Hyderabad Metro project.
Yes, we'll call it. I responded to them, yeah. Because
And question 2 is, will the central government intervene?
the center will intervene as and when asked only. Because this is a different project. Mumbai Metro, Delhi Metro, and Bangalore Metro are one model, whereas Hyderabad Metro is a different model. Hyderabad Metro is between Andhra Pradesh, earlier Andhra Pradesh government, or Telangana government, and the L&T, the private initiative. That's why being the case, the center only provides VGF, viability gap funding. So we don't want to interfere with regard to their regular day-to-day activity. If there is any problem, there was some problems, some discussion has taken place, but now I am told they are trying to sort it out among themselves. I hope that they will be able to do it. And if they want any central assistance, then we'll do. We don't want to create problems and complicate it further.
The Pune Metro has also, sir, the Pune Metro has also got the clearance?
The Pune Metro is, the project is ready, it has to go to the EFC and then it has to go to cabinet.
So what is your view on the foregone tax? Are you in favor of the subsidy? Because recently governor also said that it is the right time for the government to reduce the subsidy on diesel. If you look at the UPA range, they had given a lot of subsidies to a lot of sectors.
This is not my domain.
Really work?
Friends, I feel extremely bad, but it's my responsibility to request you to kindly restrict over here the press briefing. I feel extremely bad in doing this unpleasant job. But Mr. Sarup has very kindly agreed to stay back for any questions that you may have. The minister is taking a 2 o'clock flight, and I don't want him to remember that he came to a IMA meeting where he had to go on an empty stomach. So you'll please permit us.
Thank you all. I think I spoke elaborately, you were all there.
Thank you, sir.
Someone was asking like CAB, SEC, PMG. CAB cap secretariat, short form, CAB, SEC, PMG, project monitoring. .gov, government,
Sir, question about a particular ministry.
Sorry? No, it doesn't. It is a part of the cabinet secretariat.
Once the clearance are given on a particular project, any timeline for government to initiate the project? Because
See,
that's also been one of the hindrances.
the issue is that most of these are private sector projects. Now, how can I fix timeline for them to do it? I mean, they've invested money, they would want to do it. In fact, they've been troubled by delays. So the moment clearances happen, they would go ahead and do it. But we are still open. If they still have problems, they come back to us.
But there's no specific timeline from the government.
I think, you tell me whether there should be one. I mean,
Because in Gujarat, what has happened like with projects like Metro or Ford, they've not been really, they've got all the clearance.
No, but how can I force them to do something which is...
There's some speculation like this year.
No, that is stipulation by the state government, they will monitor it. I mean, I can't. I am there if they have a problem, they come to me. I solve the problem, then it's for them to decide.
So you are the topmost facilitator.
I'm glad you use the word facilitator. I don't know whether it's topmost or not. I certainly pride in myself calling the chief facilitator for industrialization or investment.
And when you say, sir, the 176 projects have been facilitated,
Yes.
what do you mean by facilitated?
Facilitation is that we sit with the ministries and push them into taking a decision. We don't take a decision. If we were to take a decision, I'll say we've cleared them. But clearance is still to be given by those ministries. We don't do it.
And this portal is personally being mastered by Mr. Modi, what we have.
See, there are few people who have access. The Prime Minister office also has access, and periodically they look at the portal. You can go to the portal. All these 400 odd projects are listed there. In green color, you will find projects that have been cleared. There's a lot of information that is available. We are increasingly making more and more information available because we'd like to make it transparent, with the only caveat that some of it is private sector information, which we can't reveal without their consent.
So out of 176 projects that have been facilitated, how many of them have been cleared?
When I say 176, all have been cleared by the concerned ministry. There are a large number of other projects where some issues have been cleared, but until all issues get cleared, we don't treat it as a clear project. Because say it may have an environment problem, it may have water requirement problem, it may have power problem. But one problem we solve out, until all are sorted out, we don't list them in the projects.
So since 26th May, since the new government was formed, have you kept a track of how many projects?
No, we haven't. See, it is difficult. See how it is a continuum, as we call it. Because see, as I was mentioning the railway projects. Now, it will be very difficult to draw a line and say it started here. The problems are continuous, the resolutions are continuous, and new problems come up. Because people ask me this question, by when you will resolve rest of the project. It's not that. As I was explaining to you, like in forest clearance, it goes from place to place. In environment clearance is different. Water requirement is totally different. So they are very complex, different issues. To put them in a particular time slot becomes difficult.
So these
on at 26 projects that we've seen on your website as well. These are the ones that have been carrying on for the last since PMG, and you've been adding on to them. Have there been fresh additions of projects?
Yes, actually we started with 62 projects in the month of July.
Within the last within this
Yes,
year,
yes.
would you say
They
that
added, even as I'm talking to you, there will be projects getting added. So it's
addition
real
is also
time.
ongoing.
It goes on regularly. That's why I can't give you a timeline when all projects will be cleared. Because by the time I say that, there would be another project coming in. And they are trickier projects. Let me explain the difference to you. In the beginning, we had projects where there were last mile clearance. So the power projects were set up, but there was no coal available. Once the coal was made available, the project got moving. Today, we have first, second, third mile projects, like the railway projects that I was mentioning, where the initial clearance was not there, so investment could not happen. Now, forest clearance is there, so investment will happen and construction will start. Now, I cannot say yes to those projects till they start moving in December 2016. So you'll keep asking me why it has not, you have given every clearance, but it's not happening. So I hope you appreciate it's a complex set of issues and it's a continuum. I can't say everything is over. It won't happen that way.
So just to understand, I mean, at state or central, there are several projects that get stuck due to multiplicity of issues and approvals that are required. So apart from the portal, what actually has changed? I mean, you have allowed companies to actually track them, they can file online and all. But ultimately, it's the situation on ground. Unless you tell the local collector or the state government,
yeah, this is the question. This is a question that is.
I mean, just
they keep asking me, what have you done? You haven't done anything per se. So let me explain this to you because.
No, I'm not saying that you haven't done it.
No.
It's actually people at the ground. I mean,
no, let me explain this to you.
It's a change of attitude that is required.
No, I'll tell you what has happened. I mean, I'll tell you what has happened, and it is a new. I'm sure it will become a case study somewhere. How did it make it happen? Something which should have naturally happened. In fact, people ask me this question: why wasn't this group set up 3 years ago? So it's like asking, why weren't you born 3 years ago? Someone else takes that decision when you're going to be born. See, the key here is, first, there was no platform available to the industry to air their grievances. No institutional platform. They had to catch somebody to reach somebody. It is crazy. You have to talk to the industry to understand what I'm saying. Second, no matter how inefficient I am, I would like to appear to be efficient. So if I put it on the portal, the inefficiencies of various levels get reflected there on the portal. So that makes a world of a difference by making it transparent. Third, we are not pushing anything down anybody's throat. We are conveying a value proposition. Believe me, when initially I used to go to the states, and I travel every Monday and Friday to a state, initially there was a lot of indifference and reluctance on the part of the state. That normally cabinet secretariat officials do not go to the state to discuss. They are big enough to call people from the states to discuss in Delhi. But we reversed it for the simple reason that we wanted to convey a value proposition to the states in regard to the importance of these projects to the state government. And that probably is the biggest thing that has happened, because they have understood the importance of this process of transparent, consistent, persistent follow-up of issues, providing focus to the issues and getting them resolved. And that is why the 15 states have set up their own portal for 100 to 1,000 crore. So what we in short did was to lay bare the importance and bring about a transparent institutional mechanism of enabling industry to bring forth their issues, which could then be discussed across the table and sorted out. I'll give you an example. Those of you that would have traveled to Delhi, if you have noticed while you travel from P3 in Delhi to the city, on the right side, there is an Aero City complex. Has anybody noticed it? Now there is an investment of 12,000 crores and those hotels were held up for 2 years. You know why? The security people said that you have to wall the windows facing the airstrip and the hangar because there is a security threat. And that's where it was stuck. When Project Monitoring Group took it up and we came up with a solution. Very interestingly, on 5th of July, I remember, they told me there's a problem. On 12th of July, after we have weekly meetings. I started the meeting by saying, I believe this year, the Prime Minister of India will address the nation from the ramparts of Red Fort behind a wall. So the security people asked me why. I said, if the airstrip is not safe behind a glass pane, then how can the Prime Minister be safe behind a glass pane? No, sir, that's a bulletproof glass. So I said, why can't you put that bulletproof glass on the windows? It may cost the industry a bit more, but the hotels will function. If you close the windows, hotels don't function. So today, if you go there, Marriott, Lemon Tree, these hotels are functional. And they have those glasses bulletproof glasses. And you know how much is the cost? It costs just 1 day interest of 12,000 crore additional cost, or maybe 2 days. Look at the benefit that can accrue. So what we do in the Project Monitoring Group is to provide a third dimension to a discussion, where ministries which are, sitting in silos are able to come around a table. I can go on and on, give you examples after examples. So we brought through a transparent, open mechanism of discussing with an open mind and attempting to find a solution. Long answer, but I...
No, it's okay.
But you 40% environment
जी
उनको कैसे speed up?
सबसे ज्यादा जो हमारे अप्रूवल्स और क्लियरेंस हुए वो भी एनवायरनमेंट के हुए, सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स हुई थी। उसका कारण ये था कि हमने बड़ा स्पष्ट रूप से पर्यावरण मंत्रालय को कहा कि आप किसी भी प्रक्रिया को परिवर्तित ना करें, किसी प्रक्रिया का ऐसा ना करें कि उसका अनुपालन ना हो, प्रक्रियाओं का अनुपालन आवश्यक हो। लेकिन जो निर्णय लेना है वो आप शीघ्र लीजिए। आपको मना करना है तो मना कर दीजिए, हाँ कहना है तो हाँ कीजिए। हमारा प्रमुख उद्देश्य इस पूरे चर्चा में होता है वो यही होता है कि आप विलंब ना करें निर्णय। हम किसी मंत्रालय से ये अनुरोध नहीं करते कि आप ये कहते हैं जो भी निर्णय लेना हो दे दीजिए। उससे लाभ क्या हुआ, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि बिल्कुल पारदर्शी रूप से ये पूरी व्यवस्था पोर्टल पे आने लगी। तो लोगों को लगा कि भाई ये इतने दिन एक मीटिंग का मिनट्स वहां लिखे। मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, हमारे यहाँ जो मीटिंग होती है उसके मिनट्स हम उसी समय पोर्टल पे डिक्टेट करा देते हैं। और हमारा जो सेल है probably is the first cell without any files. We don't have any file in my office. I carry it in my telephone or in my laptop. Because agenda notices are issued electronically, minutes are dictated there, और ये minutes और जो निर्णय है करती है क्या निर्णय हुआ। तो इतनी पारदर्शिता से प्रेशर बनता है। अब एक बैठक में आके कहेगा अभी विचाराधीन है, अगली बैठक में आके विचाराधीन, अरे कब तक विचार करेगा। हम भी ऐसे उससे मजाक करते हैं कभी-कभी, ये कब तक कितना विचार करोगे, जब तक अचार बन जाएगा तब तक विचार।
So still, do you find a lot of time a reluctance? I won't say reluctance, but issues of project get stuck up because the state finance departments or whichever departments are unwilling to release funds.
I'll tell you one thing. Funds are least of the issues. I mean, now I can do a full analysis. I have, of the 450 odd projects we have, it translates into about 1,500 issues. There is hardly any issue relating to funds. So money is not the issue at all. If you ask me in one single line, it's the attitude. Once you laid bare, the attitude starts changing. And then you, from a vicious circle, you get into a virtuous circle. People started appreciating that if you do take decisions, then everything, everyone starts thinking positively about it.
So a lot of times the policy paralysis is because bureaucrats just don't want to take decisions because they fear that somebody will...
No, I can speak on this for about an hour.
No.
If not on why policy paralysis happens. Let me not get into it. No, I tell you. I mean, there could be some genuine apprehension in the minds of bureaucracy of not taking decisions. But it does well with the entire environment. Now, the change that has come about now is, and as a bureaucrat I can say, there is a lot of positive energy. The messages that are being sent around that you take a decision, and if it's a bona fide decision, you shall be protected. That's the message that is coming down. Because if that is the message, then why should I take a decision? And secondly, we must understand the difference between the decisions that we are taking. One is an allocative decision where there is a shortage of supply and there's too much demand. The other is clearance related decision, where you can clear anybody's, if it meets, why sit on this decision? Because no one is going to complain if I give clearance to somebody, if he fulfills the requirement. Someone can complain in the other set of decisions, where instead of giving it to you, I give it to him. Then you may question me that why did you give it to him? But in this set of decisions, there is no inquiry, so to say. So if we analyze, probably we should be able to encourage people to take decisions.
So you said that you are a facilitator in between. So if some ministry delays deliberately, so what action you can take?
Fortunately, I'm not authorized to take action against anybody. I say fortunately, because if I were to take that action against them, then I would be only taking action. This is a new way of looking at things. So it might appear a bit awkward. As I keep repeating, saying that when it gets known in by and large public domain that someone is sitting, over a period of time starts moving. It has happened actually. We have demonstrated that. Probably, as I said, it could become a case study on how things are made to happen without any authority to take action against anybody. So it's a new way of thinking. You don't necessarily have to have a stick to make people move. But if you are able to convey a value proposition to the person that is as useful to you as to him as to me, if you do that, it is not that everything is hunky-dory. We still have problems. It's not that all problems are over. But people have started thinking on those lines. And what I said earlier, that is the reason why states have set up this portal. We're still not talking of action against anybody. They've set up their portal to do it.
So by when do you think we will have a single window clearance system? Do you think it is advantageous, or that's the reason why it is?
Well, let me explain this to you. Now, single window is a phraseology that has been used for past 2 decades. I don't want to use that. What we are trying to do here is to create a virtual, I mean it's an oxymoron, virtual real web portal, where the industry will go to the portal, click on that icon, and fill in the form and submit it to the concerned ministry. Okay? And then they will be able to track. And they will be able to do that through a single portal, do that. We started already doing that. As I said, in environment and forest, these are 2 separate clearances. You can actually go onto the portal and do it. What we are trying to do is to bring this on a single page. And we are hopeful that by 31st of March 2015, it should be operational.
So no hard
Maybe before that.
No hard copies to
If it is hard copy, then it's a hard decision.
No,
My job is no hard copy.
Not your office. I'm talking
No.
about
Offices will still have hard copies and files. The processing will not happen on the portal.
Okay.
The processing may still be on files. It could be soft processing. It could be hard. I couldn't care less. Industry also couldn't care less. So long as they know where the paper is sitting. So long as the paper gets moved in within a time, how does it matter to industry whether it's on software or not?
Does the industry put it in an application for all the clearances as a hard copy to the ministries?
No.
Still also
No.
register with you?
No. Industry will not put it. You know, today there is nothing called hard. Everything is typewritten in some laptop somewhere. So there is soft version available. So we are encouraging them to put a soft application on the portal. Why give a hard copy? Today in environment and forest, they don't have to give a hard copy. They don't have to give a hard copy. They just do that, and then the ministry downloads it. And if it has to be processed on the file, that hard copy is processed on the file. But the file is tracked. File is tracked electronically.
Sir, you said 15 states are also there who have launched such a website. So what your assessment about those states? I mean, who are the states who are more proactive and who are the states who are...
It will not be fair of me to compare states. I mean, there obviously will be some states that are doing better than the others.
After report also.
No, I would see, my idea is not to discriminate. I mean, I keep discriminating when I talk to them. But you would appreciate this point that it would not be advisable for me to say this state is doing well, that state is doing well. I think all states are making an effort. And when I say 15, all major states are there on board. So these states, Maharashtra is also there. Maharashtra is also there. So all states have come on board. All major states have come. And others are also in queue. It's just of my shortage of time that I have not been able to give time for launching. They want my presence in that launching. States like Rajasthan, they are ready. We are ready. Everything is ready. It will be launched. So most of the states have accepted that because they find value in what we are trying to convey.
So in that website you are giving updates on the projects which are already completed, means 176 projects.
No. We are giving updates on projects that are not. That are completed, what have I to give an update? It's there. Wherever the problem exists,
So it's a real-time tracking also?
Yeah, it's real-time. You may not be able to see it, but if you talk to that industry, they will be able to show
They
you.
will be able to.
The particular industry.
The 15 states which are there with their own
Should I?
where do you see the investment demand is really picking up? In the
See,
western part or
these 15 states have happened in past month and a half. So it's too premature for me to say that investment demand is picking up. We have 30 odd projects already there. They will keep coming now, between 100 and 1,000. It's too premature to say investment demand picking up here and there. It will take some time.
Sir, वो project track करने के लिए password भी देते हैं आप लोगों को?
हाँ बिल्कुल, हर इंडस्ट्री का अपना पासवर्ड है, वो अपना खुद ही क्रिएट करता है, हम नहीं क्रिएट करते, उसमें फैसिलिटेट किया वो अपना क्रिएट करके वो उसमें करता है.
So isn't it possible to make it in public domain?
See, I have personally no problem with that, but my issue is this is private information. I have to seek his permission before making it in public. So we are gradually releasing more and more information. If you go to the portal, a lot of information is already there.
So a lot of the portal where it says reasons for being stuck.
You may not be able to see that.
No, so some of them are very limited and some of them are very detailed. That's depending on what they have given you, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so that's...
They create that data, we don't.
Because some of them are extremely detailed.
I mean, see, they are also learning, we are also learning. In some cases, initially, there was an issue that was listed that the minister is not meeting us. Now, what can I do about it? The concerned minister is not meeting that. But they have listed as an issue. But now we don't have those. But we still have some very interesting, there has to be some sense of humor, Otherwise, it becomes too.
As a bureaucrat, do you find it's most difficult thing? minister not meeting.
No, I don't think that has anything.
No, I mean, as a
as far as I'm concerned, as somebody said, I was earlier serving the poorest of the poor in Rashtriya Swami Mayatra. Now I'm serving the richest of the rich. It does really matter.
No, not for you, but you know, solving an issue, if that is listed, minister not.
No,
meeting.
I see. He has to write an issue. What is the problem? Rather than his inability to meet with his wife. He can write that. My wife is not meeting. What can I do about it? Maybe, perhaps, yes. Okay.
Sir, any specific feedback which you have got from the industry person?
This probably is the first time, probably, that both the CI and FICCI president wrote to the Prime Minister that this is it, this is how it should be done. They were insisting that the threshold limit should be brought down to 100 crores in case of FICCI and 500 crores in case of CI. It is at their insistence that we worked out the software and gave it to the state governments and they brought it down. So best would be to talk to the industry. आप हलवाई से पूछ रहे हैं उसकी जलेबी कैसी है? जो खा रहा है उससे पूछिए वो बताएगा. Thank you.
We should clap and